Hello, my dear fellow South Africans. Well, South Africa is doomed. Our leaders have fallen prey to the globalists and are firmly in their pocket. Our currency is tanking. Inflation is driving people into desperation. Our unemployment rate is through the roof. We're being forced into the globalist agenda of the new world order, where we will own nothing and eat factory food and bugs, basically live lives of glorified slavery in huge smart cities. Unless we wake up, grow a pair and do something about it if it's not too late. Time is short. There is not a moment to spare if we are to dig ourselves out of this mess. If you followed us through COVID, you will know that we stopped broadcasting and, along with many other movements, just kind of faded away. Well, not only were we hijacked and sidetracked, but I must admit to also falling prey to a type of post-COVID lethargy that has affected many, many people. It's that feeling of, well, everything's gone back to normal. The type of complacency that I'm absolutely sure has been engineered to send us back to sleep. Yes, COVID has come and gone. We may even have a small sense of victory that it wasn't as bad as we believe was planned, that the effects of the jabs weren't as bad as we thought they'd be. But while we have been lulled back to sleep, they have been laughing. And for those of us noticing, we can see that they are simply continuing to roll out their plans. I decided to relaunch this channel because there are a number of fellow South Africans, and I salute you all, who continue to wake us up with information. But what I am not seeing is any planned, coordinated, practical approach to what we can actually do about it. The it I refer to is the war being waged on all of humanity by the New World Order, or whatever you'd like to call it, the international elite, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, the banksters, and whatever sinister forces are controlling these organizations. As a fellow South African warrior says, the first step in any war is to know we are at war. And let's face it, most of us don't know we are at war. This is the biggest problem we face. We don't know who or what we're fighting, and we don't realize how serious this is. Even though they have broadcast their intent and continue to tell us in veiled language, we continue just trying to keep body and soul together, which is of course also part of their plan. Keep us in survival mode, distracted, complacent. I have to admit to often feeling great despair. I wonder if it is even possible to win this war. I have even at times fallen prey to the idea of a savior, that someone or something will come along to help us. Trump, Q, angels, aliens, the second coming. But I'm starting to think that that's just part of an agenda to keep us complacent. Nobody is coming. Or if they are, I do believe they need to see that we're doing something to save ourselves first. We all know the saying, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing, or in half our cases, women. We live in probably the most complacent times humanity has ever seen. And the problem is, for us to have any hope of winning, we have to come together, as in masses and masses of us. Think Gandhi in India, for example. I hope that by now enough people have seen through what happened with COVID. I hope that the complacency is just that we don't know what to do. Well, that's where I want to do something instead of doing nothing, to try to save South Africa from the global agenda. Is it possible? Do we have a hope in hell? Who knows? But I'd rather die trying than sit here after humanity is completely enslaved and wonder if I could have done anything. And yes, there's plenty we can do. That much I learned from EnoughZA. So all I ask right now is for you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. And I know this is just an intro video, but would you consider passing it on to your friends, family, contacts? I'll be following up with short videos of practical things we're going to be doing, because this fight is going to need every single one of us to win. Okay, so who the heck am I to be engaging in this fight anyway, and why should you listen to me? Apparently, the true definition of humility is having a clear-minded understanding of one's own strengths and weaknesses. So yes, there are things I'm good at and things I'm really, really not, which is why we all need each other. I just feel that I've been put in exactly where I need to be to do what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I've had a really diverse career, which includes having my own businesses at various times in my life. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree. I spent a few years in a corporate career in IT, and this included a 2-year stint as a business consultant in Johannesburg and time in London. I've also trained and practiced as a psychotherapist and coach, once I could no longer bear the corporate world, and most recently as a naturopath. I've been well off and I've been poor. I've had good times and hard times when I didn't know where my next rent payment would come from. I've lived in cities and in the country, growing my own vegetables and making herbal medicine for the locals, including a herbal drink I developed for taxi drivers. I've run a sub 2-hour 21K. I've traveled in Europe, the UK, Thailand, New Zealand, and extensively in South Africa. I've learned 5 languages, but I can only speak 2 now. I've been married. I've known great love. I've been through health challenges and healed myself of several incurable conditions. I've made great mistakes and had wonderful successes, my greatest ones of which I count as internal. I'm clear-headed, tough, unafraid, bold, blunt, and practical. A big picture thinker with the ability to simplify complex ideas. My father gave me one of the greatest gifts that a father could ever give his offspring, and that is the ability to question everything, to never accept anything at face value. This has enabled me to be able to detect just how much we are brainwashed and have great empathy for us all as we are fighting a fight with blindfolded eyes and both hands tied behind our backs. Other than these specifics, I'm just like you, a human being with a love for life, this planet, and particularly this country I am lucky to call home. I'm currently in the unique position to be able to fight for the freedom of all South Africans, whether they realize they need fighting for or not. So that's me. I'm humbled and grateful to have you as a follower. Together we can do great things. Please stick with me, walk alongside me, help me in any way you can. We have a great war ahead of us. The absolutely brilliant thing is that together we have the ability to make a difference, more than at possibly any other time in history. So let's do it. Signing off as Trinity, I'll see you soon, and much love to you.